shows the state of what boxing is. And people want to see a fight so bad that they're watching two guys, one guy's a YouTuber, the other guy's a retired MMA guy fight, because boxing won't give them the fights that we really want to see. And we know what the fights are. Skip, a 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao and Ugas. That's not the fight that we wanted to see. They want to see Bud Crawford. They want to see Errol Spence. That's what they want to see. And that's why, you know, people, all of a sudden, they love UFC and been loving it for a while, is that you don't get the fights that you want, Skip. Ain't no ducking and dodging. And what has happened to me, what it looks like to me, Skip, is that everybody is more worried about undefeated. Don't know, I can't lose. So everybody's trying to be Floyd Mayweather. Come on, guys, stop this. This is not what boxing is meant to be. Fight. But when I look at this, Skip, I mean, come on. Paul landed 79 punches, although Woodley landed more of the power shots. Look, what it was is what it thought it would be. I don't look at this as like, oh, man, I'm expecting to see some great boxing. I take it for what it is, Skip. That's what I do. I take it for what it is. Therefore, I'm not going to be disappointed. But Jake Paul is okay for doing what he's doing, but you and I both know he's not beating anybody. This was a catch weight at 190. He's not beating anybody that has any boxing experience at that weight. Zero people.
Okay, my turn. I was impressed with what I saw last night, and I was way more into it than you sound like you were.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by this matchup because maybe there is a dearth of boxing, and maybe I was spoiled through the glory years of Ali when I covered all the great Ali matches against Frazier and Foreman and Norton and name them.
Yeah, but Skip, you was covering sports in the 80s when you had the Four Kings.
It was great.
Yes.
And I was there at every one of them. I still found this fascinating because I find Jake Paul fascinating, that he was some Disney kid star and then he became a social media phenomenon and a YouTube star. And at 21 years of age, going on 22, he decided, you know what? I'm going to try to box. It is hard to box, as you know, as he found out last night.
Right.
Because it takes it out of you quick. And he was not prepared physically for the onslaught of what was about to happen.
Right.
So what did I see? He's going up against a Tyron Woodley, who's 39 years of age. But trust me on this. He is a hand-to-hand combat warrior. He is a tough guy through and through from Ferguson, Missouri. Who took this fight personally. You could see after the fight, he does not like Jake Paul. And he took it very, very seriously personally that somebody hurled some insults from Jake's camp at his mom at the press conference 2-3 days back, right?
Yeah.
Not the weigh-in, but the press conference. And that diatribe from Tyron after the press conference was legit, like, I'm going to take these people out of here. I'm going to make them disappear.
Right.
And I think he badly wanted to make Jake Paul disappear last night. Obviously, he's not a skilled boxer, but it's not that he has no boxing skills because he was a decent striker, not a great striker.
Yeah, he's more of a wrestler.
Well, he was a college wrestling champ, obviously. But the point is, this was not easy for Jake Paul. And he got thrown into the limelight in his home area of Cleveland, obviously, and it looked sold out to me. They announced a sellout.
16,000.
Look, I'm only looking on TV, pay-per-view.
Cavaliers wish they could get that kind of crowd.
That is correct, but it looked like every seat was filled to me, and the crowd got into it, and it was like crazy.
Yeah, Chappelle in the house.
I got it. I'm with you. I thought the whole night was electric.
Yeah.
I was into it. The more I watched, the better I liked it.
Right.
So what did I see for the first 3 rounds? I saw Jake Paul dominate this fight slowly but surely. They both kind of eased into it in the first round because I think neither was quite sure what to make of each other. And Tyron said after the fight, he said, we knew he could take a punch, that he was not going to go down. That was a quote from Tyron. So they had that much respect for a young Jake Paul. Again, he's fairly athletic, but what I started to see early on, because this was his first true test, remember, he beat a YouTuber in his first fight. He beat little Nate Robinson, who has no earthly idea how to box. And then he beat Ben Askren, who is a retired MMA fighter, who looked very retired, right?
Skip, who, like me, was coming out hip replacement.
That's what I'm saying. That was joke, and joke. This was no joke for a young boxer who's just trying to figure it out.
Right.
He does have some boxing skills because the irony of Jake Paul last night was all of his damage is here. It's all he was much better with his left. His left is quick and it has pop to it, and he landed it consistently, and that's a boxer's tool to me, because if you don't know how to box and you're right-handed, you're just going to throw it from over here. You're roundhouse. You're just going to throw it from the canvas as hard as you can throw it. And when he did throw his right, it looked a little awkward to me, and it shocked me. I didn't see a lot of knockout power in the right, because against Askren, in the first round, he caught him with the straight right and just absolutely decked him.
I mean, but you see that a lot, Skip. Inexperienced, the guys, and they watch boxing like, oh, I'm gonna throw the overhand right.
I can do it. I can do it. I can throw it.
But the jab is the easier punch.
Okay, so, but it's more of a technician's. It's they call boxing the sweet science. And it's a scientist's punch.
Right.
Because he was doing all of his scoring damage with that left jab. Not a left hook, it's just a jab, and it was quick.
But that's the thing, Skip. Just think about he's landing with the jab. Yeah. A boxer is going to come with the right.
Okay, I got it. He is a novice boxer.
Correct.
But he shows some boxing skills. So what happens in round 4? He starts to showboat because it's in his blood, because that's who he is, and he's a great self-promoter. We had him on the show. I think basically he's a good-hearted kid, but he's got to put on a show, so he starts playing to the crowd, and he starts bolo punching and doing all this stuff. And all of a sudden, as he said after the fight, my legs got a little wobbly, because it's hard, man. You're sweating. He was sweating from round 1 profusely. And I think his legs were starting to wobble a little bit, and he started dropping his guard a little bit. And what got him first was the left hook from Tyron, because Tyron's got to come from a little down here because he's a shorter man, but he came up with the left hook, and he got him up under the chin, and it rocked him. So again, Tyron's like jump left hooking, and so he jumped into him, and I thought it was a little bit of a push shot. So he falls back into the ropes, and the ropes did save him from actually going all the way down onto the canvas.
Oh, he hit it. That was the overhand. Caught it with an overhand on that one.
Okay, but the first punch that gets
right there,
that was But he got him first with the left hook, and that's what staggered him a little bit. And then the overhand right sort of hit him upside the head, but he didn't get him in the jaw. So then the rest of that round is spent. Jake Paul has got to dance his way out of trouble and just stay out of harm's way. And he did a pretty good job of, now you can also criticize Tyron that he didn't go for the kill.
Right, and you would think, Skip, as an MMA guy, Ty Woodley knows how to cut the ring off.
He knows.
He's cut the cage off on several occasions.
Well, he was the stalker the whole night anyway.
So he understands how to cut the cage off, but because he's not an experienced boxer or a striker, Skip, he doesn't know how to walk a guy into a punch. And so he didn't understand, like, cut the ring off. Like I said, give Jake Paul credit, Skip. He probably made Ty Woodley more money than he's made in any UFC one fight. I heard he took less money in this, so everybody on the undercard can make more money than they ever made. Kudos. He's getting guys paid that would have never gotten paid. I give him credit for that, Skip. But if he's thinking about stepping up in class and fighting people that actually know how to box, even if they're in their late 30s, Skip, he's in for a rude awakening.
Okay, so let's deal with this before we get to that.
Okay.
So afterward, in the ring, the two of them are in there being interviewed, and it goes back and forth, and all of a sudden, Ty Woodley is saying, I got robbed, basically. And there were those I was just watching what was trending on Twitter who were saying rigged because he was going down and got saved by the ropes. I just, listen, one judge scored the whole fight for Woodley, and his name is Phil Rogers, the judge. I don't know. It was like 77 to 75, one judge. I have no idea. I had Jake Paul winning convincingly going to the last 2 rounds when he just played defense and tried not to run out of gas. That's what he was trying to do, just stay up and avoid that one big roundhouse.
But I thought you told me the aggressor, the fight should go to the aggressor. Who was the aggressor in the fight?
Okay, he was stalking, but then he wasn't punching. The aggressor in the fight consistently was Jake Paul because he would pick his spots, and with a little flurry, he was winning the early rounds because his combinations were not bad. Flurry combinations would bop, and all of a sudden he'd get him a couple times good. Neither man hurt the other man ever, except for the one punch that stung. That was the one shot. But was Tyron Woodley ever staggered? No, he wasn't staggered. Nor was Jake Paul hurt at all as far as his face afterwards is a little reddish, but there were no cuts. There was no real marking going on. So the point was that I thought he won the fight easily. And then all of a sudden, Ty Woodley saying afterwards, well, I think I won the fight, and let's do it again. Well, Jake Paul's just dumbfounded, like, I gave you your shot and you lost. Well, just me as a pay-per-view, I paid the freight, like, what was it, $60?
Yeah, $59.95.
Okay.
Yeah, $59.95, I think.
Okay, so I paid the freight. I would be hard-pressed to pay the freight again for a rematch of these two because I saw enough. I do think that Jake Paul's a little better boxer than Ty Woodley at 39 is going to get to be. So I don't need to see these two again, but I'm curious to see how far he can go because I'm going to remind you, when we had Jake Paul on this show, he's talking about Canelo. And I'm like, okay, it's a grand dream, you know, like, wait, you're dreaming big, but he is about 500,000 miles from Canelo right now because he would get hurt by Canelo because there's just too much he doesn't understand.
Correct.
And I'm not sure I saw enough hand quickness for him to go that high.
No.
But can he box? Okay, so on the undercard last night was one Tommy Fury, who is the half-brother of you-know-who Fury, and he's also